Like most people, I sort of yearn for a connection with the natural world, and I think gardening is a really accessible way of connecting with other living things.
Why does gardening matter to you?
Because it connects us back to nature, which teaches us a lot about ourselves and God.
That connection with my family, but also the connection with the earth and being outside.
I just feel very strongly about cherry tomatoes.
I really strongly believe that cultivating things and taking care of things and spending time with your hands in the dirt and time in nature is super beneficial. It's beneficial for you, the individual, and for society.
Some of my earliest memories are sitting in a garden as a little girl. I'd pick off the perfectly ripe raspberries and eat them one by one, or maybe we were shelling peas and peeling apples with my grandma for hours, right? In the garden, I learned about the gift of the creation of the earth by planting a seed and watching it grow. I watched my parents and my grandparents work, and I even observed the sun, soil, and air cooperating. Over time, these experiences became my inspiration to study and teach plant biology and to conduct research on education and learning.
Gardening matters to me because I feel like it really improves my mental health, and it's made me excited for season changes.
Restorative to me, right? It gives me a lot of sense of peace and relaxation.
There's a sensory sort of component to gardening that's really nice, especially when we spend so much of our time on screens.
I think that it's a really good way for the community to be involved and to really get your hands on something that feels more real, and you can enjoy the fruits of your labors literally at the end, and it's just a great time.
Gardening matters to me because, it's been a great improvement to my mental health, and it's good for the body, it's good for the mind, it's good for the soul.
Well, I think I've always been interested in our relationship with food. I think in the beginning it started out with understanding how it affected my health and well-being, but as I immersed myself in other cultures, I became really interested in kind of the food culture, right? And how food brings people together and how it impacts our emotional and mental health as well. And I could just see how passionate students were about being outside, being in soil, harvesting fruits and vegetables, plants growing, all of that. And so it made me think it would be really cool to start a research project here at BYU campus. And kind of simultaneously, my wife is really interested in working together on bringing a campus garden to the BYU community.
My name is Dr. Bryn St. Clair, and I'm an adjunct professor of plant biology here at BYU. So I'm hoping to develop a food garden here at BYU that students can participate in. I hope a BYU food garden will be a place of learning through experience and connection. I want students to gain practical skills in producing food so they can help feed themselves and people in need in their future communities.
Establishing a campus garden doesn't happen overnight. You have to find a location, allocate funds, and start seedlings. But before any of that can happen, you have to survey.
Wouldn't it just be nice to know what people at BYU think about green spaces and gardens? I'm Dr. Laura Wheeler. I'm housed in the McKay School of Education in teacher education, and I'm a science curriculum and instruction researcher. Yeah, so the survey is just a very preliminary first step in hopefully being able to develop community gardens here at BYU. This is hopefully going to provide data that students at BYU need access and would like access, and then would actually use those spaces.
During our study abroad programs, I watched BYU students stand in awe as they discovered the natural world through food production in small gardens. They were transformed by generous gardeners and farmers who shared their culture, labor, and even a piece of their table, often at great personal sacrifice. Why can't BYU students experience something similar here in Provo? Could a campus garden provide cross-cultural transformative experiences here at home? Could it help create a sense of Zion on BYU campus? But we first need to establish resources at BYU to qualify for outside funding for research. I'm happy to donate my time and attention, but we need space and funds for a deer fence, water installation, and seeds. Accessing space and funding as an adjunct professor has been challenging, but I'm finding a way forward.
I love gardening. I think it would be beneficial. I would love to see more students do it. So my name's Clint Whipple. I am a professor of biology, and I have a community garden close to my house that I started in 2020. There are plenty of models at other universities where student food or other kinds of community gardens have not only worked, they've thrived. A typical student doesn't have space and maybe has no background. There's all sorts of barriers to entry. So it's nice to have a community garden where you can go. I feel like everyone who gets their hands in the dirt and raises their own food from seed is gonna appreciate it.
Taking that one step further, Sam St. Clair is studying how getting our hands in the dirt can actually help our health.
So our goal is to restore soils in urban environments, to restore to humans beneficial microorganisms. So what we're trying to do is actually build garden environments that bring people back into more natural settings and expose them to native plants, native pollinators, native microorganisms, so that they can be exposed to those beneficial bacteria and fungi that are really important for our health. And last year we grew over, I think, 1,800 pounds of food that we were able to distribute to students, and we've dramatically expanded the capacity to produce more food.
Oh my gosh! Well, you can stand in there too if you want. Okay, welcome to the garden. We are starting to put in the beds, and it's really, really exciting. We've marked off the beds and the walkways, and our beds are 30 inches across because we have tools that are 30 inches that can aerate. And then we're going to put, we put compost, and then in between the beds we're going to put mulch so that we can walk and it won't kind of smash down the beds. Soon we're going to install water. We have to install a deer fence because we have a lot of deer pressure around here. And then we'll be able to start planting and seeing how it goes. We need to do a little bit of soil testing and amendment of the soil, but overall we're feeling really good about where we're at.
So this is our seed library here on the second floor of the BYU library.
The seed library is a collection of seeds that a library offers for patrons to check out. And really that just means they get to take them for free and grow them. And if they're successful and if those plants grow to fruit, then they can collect the seeds from that and then return them back to the library for other patrons. So my name is Megan Frost. I am a librarian here at BYU, and I work with the College of Life Sciences, specifically the departments of nutrition, dietetics, food science, and exercise science.
And my name is Mike Kagotes. I am also a librarian here at BYU, and I work specifically with the departments of plant and wildlife sciences, biology, and public health.
What inspired the creation of the seed library?
I'd heard about seed libraries and seen other conferences, other librarians, both at academic and public, that have talked about seed libraries, and thought it was cool, but really it was Meg that kind of got the ball rolling.
But we heard about Bryn St. Clair's work with trying to get students more connected to community gardens, whether that's here on campus or just in the Provo area, and we thought this is something that the library can support in some way. We can help that initiative. Libraries are all about access, right? We want patrons, we want people to have access to things that they might not otherwise, and that's often books, things, and knowledge, but also resources, and seeds fit really well into that, I think.
And hopefully there's people who have been gardening for many years that would see value in coming and collecting some seeds and donating seeds, that kind of sharing their experiences, kind of their expertise, but then also providing opportunities for individuals who haven't gardened at all and maybe feel a little intimidated about, like, well, how do I actually grow this in my own food? Or I'm living in an apartment and I don't really have that much sunshine, so how can I grow something? That we're hoping to be able to provide resources for all levels to get people interested and involved.
We developed a guide. So we call it a LibGuide, but it's just basically a research guide that students can access. The purpose of that is just to gather all kinds of gardening information about collecting seeds, about the types of seeds that we're growing, about all the kinds of resources that the library has that students can check out or use. We set up a workshop and we invited both Bryn and Sam St. Clair to come and talk about their experience working, just gardening in general, and working with students gardening here at BYU, and they did a phenomenal job, and there was a lot of interest.
We're planning on having additional workshops, providing an opportunity to create this sense of, again, another sense of community surrounding gardening. Stay tuned. We do have several other workshops lined up throughout the school year.
The Gathering Garden is south of the LSB and the Botany Pond, just off of BYU campus, and just next to the Risk Management Building. Today, we're putting down paper for weed control, organic, just brown paper for weed control, and then we're going to put wood chips on it, and the hope is that we can manage the weeds in the walking path so that we can access the beds from both sides to plant and produce vegetables.
I think the best way to understand something is to roll your sleeves up, get your hands dirty, and dig in. I'm Brayman Leak. I'm the Associate Director of Sustainability and Continuity here at BYU. Broadly, the Sustainability Office is concerned with helping the university reduce its environmental footprint. My goal for the Sustainability Office, personally, is that each and every one of our graduates leaves BYU with an understanding of sustainability, and they are exemplars of sustainability in their communities, in their families, in their workplaces, and in their congregations. In the Sustainability Office, we are often guided by the teachings of President Nelson. He said, as beneficiaries of the divine creation, what shall we do? We should care for the earth, be wise stewards over it, preserve it for future generations, and we are to love and care for one another. So when I hear that, I think, okay, caring for the earth, that's stewardship, and I think caring for one another, that's belonging. Stewardship in gospel sense is doing God's work by caring for the earth, caring for one another, and honoring Him in the process. I think a garden at BYU will give us the opportunity to not only learn and demonstrate stewardship, but also find belonging and build community. And where we haven't had a campus garden before, here's a perfect opportunity to let students find out what they can do and make friends in the process, and grow some healthy food for themselves while they're at it.
In 2022, in his talk, Our Earthly Stewardship, Elder Gerald Cassé taught, "The Creator has entrusted the Earth's resources and all forms of life to our care, but He retains full ownership. Our stewardship over God's creations includes, at its pinnacle, a sacred duty to love, respect, and care for all human beings with whom we share the earth."
What I love about the garden is that we can do those two things at the same time. We can take care of the earth, and we can produce food to take care of those in need around us and our own families. So we're so excited that the garden is going to be able to do that here at BYU. And we invite you to come participate, come volunteer during open hours, learn how to weed, take care of plants, and produce food for people in need.